Everything changed in a matter of seconds. Welcome to NFL Nexus. Now, I want you to close your eyes for just a second and picture the typical NFL offseason. It's May, right? The weather is just starting to heat up, players are trickling back into the facility. Usually, this time of year, organized team activities, OTAs, it's just guys out there in shorts running through half-speed drills. It's super casual. It's basically a reunion. You're out there just knocking off the rest. But right now, down in Houston, the atmosphere is completely different. The air inside the Texans facility isn't relaxed at all. It's heavy. It is literally vibrating with a level of intensity and expectation that this franchise has quite frankly never seen before. Today, in this explainer, we are diving deep into the unprecedented reality of the Houston Texans. Because listen, this is an organization that knows heartbreak on a deeply intimate level. Think back to the agonizing 2011 loss to the Ravens, or the tragic 2012 Matt Schaub injury, or maybe the most painful of all, the catastrophic 2019 divisional round collapse against the Kansas City Chiefs, where a massive 24-point lead just vanished into thin air. They've definitely secured some recent trips to the postseason, but they have never managed to shatter that final glass ceiling. No Super Bowl appearances, never even reached an AFC championship game. But today, right now, as we look at the undeniable monumental shift happening inside that building, we have to ask a massive question. Are we witnessing the birth of a dynasty? Okay, let's really unpack this explainer, because I promise you, the stakes have literally never been higher, and the tension, it's already palpable.
Just listen to the mandate echoing through the facility right now. Will Anderson Jr. literally said, "Everybody in this circle believes that this is a Super Bowl team." I really want you to let the sheer weight of those words sink in for a moment. This isn't just media hype. This isn't some talking head on television making a wild, bold prediction just to get clicks. No way. This is coming directly from the mouth of Will Anderson Jr. And remember, this is the reigning Defensive Rookie of the Year we're talking about, the player the Texans boldly traded up to select at number 3 overall. He isn't just some rotational piece. He is the absolute defensive cornerstone of this entire franchise. And he delivered this massive mandate while breaking down the huddle in a Tuesday OTA practice. Think about the psychology of that for a second. It's May. The actual season is still months away. Yet here is a second-year edge rusher already drawing a definitive line in the sand. He looked his teammates in the eye and told them that the front office and the coaches brought them into that specific circle for one singular reason: to win a Super Bowl. He's looking around at all the sweeping offseason additions, the bolstered offensive line, the revamped running back room, the elite defensive pieces, and he is telling them face to face that they are champions in waiting. When your leaders openly declare championship or bust expectations before training camp even begins, it alters the very DNA of the locker room. Every single drop of sweat, every sprint, every film session is now being weighed against the Lombardi Trophy. The standard isn't just getting a little bit better anymore. The standard is absolute perfection. And you know what? That immense pressure isn't just spoken, it is actively manifesting on the practice field in terrifying ways. So frame this in your mind not as a standard practice, but as a brutal iron sharpens iron collision between two franchise titans going head to head. On one side, you have C.J. Stroud, the phenomenal quarterback orchestrating a dizzyingly explosive offense. And on the exact opposite side, you have Derek Stingley Jr. anchoring what might honestly just be the best secondary unit in the entire National Football League. In a typical practice, the offense might take it easy on the defense, or vice versa, just to get through the day. Not here. Absolutely not. This is a high-stakes chess match between grandmasters. During the second open media practice, the defensive line was actually missing some of its absolute terrors. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. weren't out there rushing the passer. Now, normally you would think Stroud and his elite receivers would have an absolute field day in what is essentially a glorified 7-on-7 environment, right? No way. When the pass rush took a step back, the elite defensive backs completely stepped up. We are talking about Stroud's elite split-second processing speed going directly against Stingley's flawless hip fluidity and off-man coverage skills. This is the ultimate crucible for C.J. Stroud. Every single time he takes the field, he is being tested against a championship-level secondary in the spring, which is the exact kind of brutal conditioning required to survive in the freezing trenches of January. Let's actually slow down time for a second and look at how this all builds into just an unforgettable scene on the practice field. The play is called, Stroud drops back, he sets his feet, he's scanning and looking for his second-year wideout, Jaden Higgins, on a sharp out route. The ball leaves Stroud's hand, piercing the air with absolute perfect velocity. It looks like a completion. But before Higgins can even turn his head to make a play, an absolute blur flashes across the field. It's Derek Stingley Jr.,
And guys, he doesn't just bat the ball away. He doesn't just get a hand in there to break up the pass. Stingley has already completely read Stroud's eyes, flawlessly anticipated the throw, and jumped the route with this terrifying, explosive speed. And as ESPN's DJ BNA described it, he catches the ball fluidly like a receiver. He doesn't break stride at all. He plucks it right out of the air and glides effortlessly into the end zone for an absolutely devastating pick six. Imagine the scene. Complete silence on the offensive side of the ball, and absolute pandemonium on the defensive sideline. That single play is a visceral, electrifying warning shot. It's a stark reminder that even microscopic mistakes against this defense are going to be punished with extreme prejudice. It really showcases the terrifying processing speed of Derek Stingley Jr., and honestly, it sets a chilling tone for the rest of the league.
And the immediate impact of that play, it reverberated all the way to the very top. Listen to this incredible quote from defensive mastermind, head coach DeMeco Ryans. He said, "He's in mid-year form already here in May and June." Now, I really need you to understand the historical context of the man saying those words. DeMeco Ryans isn't just a coach. He was a two-time Pro Bowl linebacker, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year back in 2006. He played this game at the absolute highest, most brutal level, in the dirt, shedding blocks, making punishing tackles. Because of that insane pedigree, his praise is notoriously hard to earn. Coaches are naturally super cautious in May, right? They want to keep their players hungry and grounded. But Ryans? He literally couldn't hold back. He noted that Stingley is sticky in coverage, exactly where he needs to be. For a cornerback to be in mid-year form when the regular season is over 3 months away, that is a truly terrifying prospect for opposing wide receivers. It sends a psychological shockwave through the entire AFC South. The Jaguars, the Colts, the Titans, they are all officially on notice. It means Stingley isn't using OTAs to get into shape. He arrived executing at an all-pro level purely off instinct and flawless preparation. When your superstars arrive in May playing like it's Week 10, it forces the entire 90-man roster to elevate their game immediately or face elimination.
And that brings us to the developments echoing through the facility right now, what we are calling the Super Bowl standard. This level of elite execution is deeply infecting the entire roster. Just take Derek Stingley's mentorship, for example. Coach Ryans highlighted how proud he is of Stingley, the teammate. So picture this, a young rookie corner like Kamari Lassiter stepping onto an NFL field for the very first time, going up against this terrifyingly explosive offense. The margin for error is absolutely zero. But when Lassiter actually makes a play and bats a ball down, it's Stingley on the sideline going absolutely crazy, hyping up the young guy. That kind of brotherhood completely changes a rookie's trajectory. It builds an impenetrable secondary. And then, look at the rookie class as a whole. Will Anderson pointed out that the rookies are getting into the building early, treating their bodies like seasoned pros, studying extra film, and staying out on the grass late. They have completely, 100% bought in. And it's exactly why Anderson boldly declared this the best OTAs the team has had, both offensively and defensively, in his entire 4 years there. The culture isn't something they are hoping to maybe build someday in the future. No, it is actively being forged right now, today, in the suffocating Houston heat.
But, to truly understand the massive scale of what Houston is building here, you really have to look away from the million-dollar stars for a minute and stare straight into the mud and dirt of the trenches. Because you can have all the elite processors and sticky corners in the world, but if your offensive line collapses in the fourth quarter of the AFC divisional round, literally none of it matters. Super Bowls are won in the brutal, exhausting reality of roster depth. So, enter Derek Graham, an undrafted free agent offensive tackle out of Tulane. Now, on the surface, an undrafted signing in May doesn't exactly break the internet. But dig a little deeper with me here. Graham is a massive human being. We're talking 6 foot 4 inches, weighing in at a staggering 314 pounds. And what does a 314-pound frame do in offensive line coach Cole Popovich's blocking scheme? It moves mountains. It completely dictates the line of scrimmage. Now, Graham previously played for Popovich at Troy, meaning there's this vital, built-in schematic trust already there. Furthermore, he possesses an undeniable NFL pedigree. He's actually the son of Derek Graham Sr., who battled through a grueling 9-year NFL career. So this isn't just some random camp body brought in for the summer. This is a highly calculated, strategic move by the front office to ground their lofty Super Bowl talk in the gritty reality of assembling a roster filled with deep football DNA, massive size, and instant familiarity. Trace this man's relentless path of survival, and you see exactly the kind of mindset Houston is cultivating across the board. The timeline of his journey is wild. He starts as a 2-star recruit out of Florida, committing to Troy back in 2020. He grinds there for 4 long years. Then, he is thrust into the absolute chaos of the modern transfer portal era. He transfers to Texas A&M in early 2024, only to pack his bags all over again just 4 months later to transfer to Tulane. Then, by 2026, he finally signs with the Houston Texans. Over that span, navigating 3 different states, 3 entirely different college programs, and 3 totally different offensive playbooks, he managed to appear in an incredible 64 collegiate games. I really want you to let that number sink in. 64 games of physical, bone-bruising trench warfare. This isn't a fresh-faced kid who's going to be overwhelmed by the NFL moment. This is a battle-tested, resilient warrior who understands survival, adaptation, and fighting tooth and nail for a starting job against all odds. When a franchise has a rapidly closing championship window, they simply do not have the time to teach toughness. They need players who have already proven they can withstand immense, prolonged adversity. By bringing in a guy exactly like Derek Graham, the Texans are proving they understand exactly what kind of grueling depth is required to survive a brutal 17-game NFL season and make a punishing run deep into January.
So, the absolutely crucial point we are left with today is this chilling, provocative question. Are the Houston Texans building an unstoppable dynasty, or are they flying way too close to the sun? The historical scale of these expectations is monumental. Think about the 2007 Patriots, or those dominant Cowboys of the 1990s. When a team openly embraces the intense pressure of a dynasty before the rings are even secured, the weight becomes absolutely staggering. We've seen incredibly talented teams completely crumble under a fraction of this media spotlight. Yet, from Will Anderson's bold declarations in the huddle to Derek Stingley's mid-season dominance in May, all the way down to the calculated, gritty acquisitions in the trenches, this organization is operating with a fearless mandate. They aren't running from the immense pressure. They are absorbing it, they are feeding off it, and they are turning it into a weapon. The pieces are definitively on the board. But as the long, dark shadow of the grueling NFL season approaches, we have to wonder, will this unprecedented, unshakable confidence forge the first Lombardi trophy in Houston history, or will the crushing weight of their own monumental expectations tear them apart? One thing is for absolute certain, this story is far from over. And if you want to survive the beautiful, brutal chaos of this unfolding saga all season long, you absolutely must support NFL Nexus. If you crave the deepest, most cinematic coverage of the NFL, I urge you with absolute urgency right now, hit that subscribe button. Like this explainer to help push this critical deep dive out to other diehard fans across the globe. Drop a comment below with your absolute boldest prediction. Do the Texans make it all the way this year, or will the pressure completely break them? Let your voice be heard in the comments right now. And listen, if you truly want to take your support to the next level, unlock exclusive content, and join our inner circle, hit that join button and become a channel member of NFL Nexus today. We are going to be tracking every single storyline, every brutal collision, and every piece of breaking drama across the league. You do not want to miss a single second. Until next time, stay focused and enjoy the beautiful chaos of the National Football League.